Bienvenidos chicos al canal de Canary Juegos y aquí seguimos con el Poirot y detective. Pues habíamos quedado que la última llamada que hicimos fue a la chica policía, ¿no? A la detective policía, que nos había dicho que el de la máscara se había escapado y dijo que Poirot se le había caído algo así. A la mujer dijo que se le había caído algo y Poirot le dijo que iba a ir a averiguar a ver lo que era y que no podía haber hecho nada por el tío que han matado porque llegó tarde. Así que vamos a averiguar dónde está. Era por aquí, por esta zona. Billetitos. Las gafas.
A pair of women's glasses. Was Ratchet planning a new identity?
Una mujer, unas gafas de mujer.
There must be several tens of thousands of dollars in this bag. The victim was stabbed. Apparently the method of choice in this case. Mr. Waddy's Swiss passport. I'll see if I can find a match on the internet to confirm his identity.
Just con su móvil y todo, ¿eh? Vale, encuentra información sobre el señor Waddy. Así es, Wada. Suiza. Turín. Yo creo que sí. A ver ahora.
This is wrong, but I'm never far from the truth.
54.
No, not
No.
good.
Vale, entonces esto sí estaba bien, pero...
I do not
Tampoco.
think that's the right answer.
Espérate, ¿no será Asisguada, Asiguada? Asisguadi, ¿no? Este.
Think, Poirot. That is not a good answer.
A ver. Vamos a ver entonces inspeccionar. Asisguadi. Vale. Badag. Suiza. Badag. Asisguadi es. Asisguadi, que es este, ¿no? Sí. Sí, Wadi, Suiza.
I must admit I'm not right this time.
Vale, no. Vamos a ver, 37.
Think, Poirot. That is not a good answer.
No.
No.
Vale, voy a averiguarlo, chicos. Vale, chicos. Ginebra y 45 años, ¿vale?
To me a lot.
De Suiza, Ginebra, 45 años.
Various clothes in his suitcase. Mr. Waddy was obviously planning to leave this city. A bunch of keys. If, as seems likely, Mr. Waddy is a resident of...
Vale, aquí lo hubiéramos averiguado, tío. Ginebra.
One of these may belong to his home there.
Madre mía, si lo hubiéramos hecho todo. Vale. Entonces ahora debo examinar la escena del crimen sin que la policía me moleste. Vale, falta una. Una pista. Me falta una pista. Vale, se gira cuando hay algo, ¿eh? Me he dado cuenta que cuando te hay alguna pista se gira la cabeza. Como los Silent Hills. ¿En serio? ¿Si ve por aquí? No, aquí no creo que haya nada. Aquí. Ah, no. Esto es nuestro bigote.
Another golden mustache to treasure.
¿Dónde está la última pista? No averiguamos lo que es. Se mira. ¿Ves cómo mira la cabeza? Gira la cabeza, ¿eh? Aquí gira porque estamos aquí. No sé si pierdo algo, si hay algo que...
The victim was stabbed. Apparently the method of choice in this case.
Pues no me dice más nada. Y aquí... No. Bueno, chicos, por aquí no veo nada, así que tiene que haber algo sobre el puente, porque esta parte no tiene nada, la he revisado un par de veces. Así que vamos a ver por aquí. Unión Europea, República Italiana, pasaporte. ¡Hostia! Dice Caldo Enrico, italiano, 14 de noviembre, Turín, de Italia. Enrico, italiano, 14 de noviembre del 60, en Turín. 21 de agosto de 2033.
A false passport with Ratchet's picture.
Sí.
Ratchet? How many others? Now he will become Enrico Caldo. It appears Ratchet changed his identity as often as his socks.
Dinero en la mochila. La intuición te permite sacar tus propias conclusiones de un trato con Cairo del rescate del caso Astron. Del rescate, ¿no?
This direction looks promising.
I'm sorry I couldn't catch the suspect, Mr. Poirot.
There is no need to apologize, mademoiselle. Your efforts were marvelous. I found some information about Mr. Waddy.
Did you access the FBI database?
Don't worry, my little gray cells were enough. However, The database may confirm the origin of these banknotes.
No need. I included them when I continued my investigation.
Excellent.
Encuentra los números de serie de los billetes entre las fotos del teléfono de Joanna. ¿El qué? Los números de serie de los billetes. Los números de serie, vale. NA. Propone FL. Aquí no es, ¿no? A ver. MN. No. NA, vale. NA. Son todos de 2 y 1. Un 2 y 1 y un 2 y 1.
I don't need Mr. Poirot to tell me I'm wrong.
Sí, ya lo sé. Vale. Encuentra los números de la serie de los billetes entre las fotos del teléfono. Pone NA. Vale. S, C y G o... Es una C, ¿no? Pone 49, uno termina en 49. Te pone una S. Hostia, esto es un poco rarillo, ¿no? Tenía 21502. Será una 30. ¿Que no se puede ir bajando? No, solo están estos de aquí. Vale, este es el 49, vale. Hay uno que es el 49, otro es el 03 y otro es el 80. Pero ahí no está, el 80 no está. Porque ahí pone 30 y 49 no hay, ¿no? Así, este.
Come on, Joanna. That's a rookie mistake.
Vale, pues esto no es. 215. Son las 3 NA, ¿eh? La primera no era.
No, I did something wrong.
Vale, aquí hay una trampa. Aquí hay... Vamos a averiguar cómo se hace lo de los billetes. Porque tiene que haber alguna, ¿no? 215 022 03 022. Aquí no hay nada de 022. 5 276 276. Tampoco. 1888. Vale, pues voy a averiguarlo, chicos, y ahora vuelvo porque ahora mismo no caigo en qué puede ser lo de... Para explicarlos, ¿vale? Para explicarlo cómo se hace. Vale, chicos, le he dado para atrás y aquí se puede mover esto. No lo sabía. Vale, a ver qué dice aquí. Vale, que va por... Vale. Aquí hay más, aquí hay más. NA, pues los mismos. Vale, estos los mismos.
No, Joanna. That doesn't track.
Vale, pero quiero saber...
No, this this isn't it. Think!
Vale. Bueno, aquí pone... NA. Vale, tenemos este NA 2150 02203. Vale, acá hay uno. Este es uno, chicos.
Hey, I'm a pretty good detective after all.
Vale. Ahora faltan dos. 215 también, vale. 215. Este, ¿ves? Estos son números.
No, this isn't it. Think!
La puerta. ¿Pone un 1? NA, vale, acá hay otro número, creo. Este. Sí, este es otro. 215188880.
Score. One for the good guys.
Y ahora me falta el último, que termina en 49. Que es este aquí abajo, ¿no? 21527 60. No, 21527 64. Sí, es este.
That is a great detective
Es este,
job.
chicos.
Mr. Poirot, it's part of the ransom money from the Armstrong case.
You are surprised?
I suppose not. So Ratchet had it in an account at the Banque du Lac.
It would seem so. He knew the serial numbers on the banknotes could be traced, and he could not spend it, so he stashed it there.
But now he's run low, something he didn't count on. He hopes enough time has passed so he can begin to spend the ransom money.
Ah, there is something else he didn't count on.
What's that?
He didn't count on you, Detective Locke, and your tenacity.
Thank you. But we are still left with a murderer on the loose.
But we progress. We know Mr. Waddy had an appointment with Ratchet. He had a bag full of money and a passport with Ratchet's photo, but a new name. What is your opinion about the passport?
¿Qué hay del pasaporte de Rachel? Rachel quería desaparecer otra vez, escondiéndose tras otra identidad falsa. El pasaporte revela la verdadera identidad de Rachel. No quería desaparecer.
I discovered that he was arrested in Armenia for trafficking in stolen art and was supposed to be arraigned in January. Once again, he changed his identity and vanished.
You are correct, mademoiselle. He also told me that he was threatened, and that threatening letter we found in his room was real. He had to disappear once again.
Porque el asesino no se llevó el dinero. Era demasiado arriesgado, su móvil no era el dinero. Uf. ¿Su móvil no era el dinero? ¿Puede ser que su móvil no hubiera el dinero?
The bag isn't very big. He could have easily run away with it. If he didn't take it, it was deliberate. He wasn't interested in the money. If the motive wasn't money, it leaves passion or revenge for motive.
So, Detective Locke, what do you think? Passion or revenge?
O sea, venganza. Su móvil era pasional, su móvil era la venganza. Uf, ¿pasional? No creo. Tiene que ser venganza, ¿eh? Creo que es pasional. Yo creo que fuera venganza, creo yo.
Revenge seems like an obvious motive to me. The murderer carefully followed Waddy from the fountain to the new meeting place despite Waddy's precautions. That is cold and careful.
Excellent. We cannot yet know for certain, but that is a sound psychological analysis. We have an idea of the motive. It is the same motive as that of our 12 would-be murderers on the train. But we still must know who was under that mask.
¿Quién es el asesino? La misma persona que mató a Rachel, un asesino contratado por Rachel. No, la misma que mató a Rachel, me supongo.
I think Wadi's killer is also Ratchet's murderer. The motive for both deaths was revenge, and both are related to the Armstrong case through the
Porque con el
ransom money.
cuchillo también lo mató.
Exactly. So our murderer is linked to the Armstrong case. The money is linked to the Armstrong case. But these glasses that I found in the bag, they must have something to do with this case too.
Wait, those glasses mean something to me.
¿Qué son esas gafas? ¿De Constantine? Se enamoró la niñera de Daisy. Hostia, es verdad, los dos tenían gafas. Es de mujer, es de mujer.
Wait, I know. I've seen these. They belong to Suzanne Moreau, little Daisy's nurse. I remember seeing them in her bedroom, but they were gone the day she died.
I remember the press saying that the nurse had committed suicide.
I've always believed otherwise, and the glasses are proof that she was killed by Ratchet or his accomplice. He took those glasses. I always had a gut feeling, but now, Mr. Poirot, now I have proof Suzanne was innocent.
Yes, you do. But the question I ask myself is this. Why did Ratchet keep these glasses?
¿Por qué se quedó las gafas? ¿Como trofeo de las víctimas? ¿Como prueba falsa para el futuro? ¿Trofeo de sus víctimas? No, como prueba falsa.
Ratchet used to leave fake evidence at the scene of his crimes to incriminate others. He did the
Dejó el
same
cuchillo,
thing
dejó
to
las
Suzanne.
pastillas, dejó...
But keeping an object belonging to his victim as a souvenir of the murder, that is the behavior of a fetishist.
Now that you mention it, in my investigation at the time, I had already found Daisy's hair clip in Ratchet's cabin, and now we find Suzanne's glasses in a bag for Ratchet.
2 objects from 2 victims of Ratchet.
Es un cazador de trofeos, ¿en serio?
Okay, we managed to clear up some of the gray areas. What now?
The bag
Vale.
only contained a fraction of the $1 million ransom of the Armstrong case. The rest must still be in a secure place. I will make a wager with you that it is the Banque du Lac in Geneva where Mr. Wadi worked.
Wadi was also the keeper of Ratchet's secrets. They were killed by the same murderer.
Agreed. Well, there is nothing more we can do here except wait for the police. Prepare yourself for a long evening with the police. We have a lot of explaining to do.
And after that,
A visit to Geneva, perhaps?
Para Ginebra que nos vamos. Sleeping car.
Here you are at last. I was worried about you.
We just left the police station. We had to explain to the Italian police that we were not murderers.
What? Another murder?
I'll tell you when we're underway. Are all passengers and staff aboard?
Yes, everyone is here. We were waiting for you.
Excellent. Let's not waste any more time. We have to make a longer than usual stop in Lausanne.
What? How long?
Long enough to do a little banking in Geneva.
But this is madness. A 13th murderer of Ratchet?
Mon ami, he was not well liked.
But Monsieur Michel would have seen anyone enter Ratchet's compartment. And there were another 10 people milling about. taking their turn at stabbing him. How could they not notice an uninvited killer?
¿Por qué no vio el señor Michael al asesino? Si tu testimonio es falso, estaba fumando en Viconsi. Estaba fumando.
The 13th killer could have acted when Michel was smoking on the platform at Vinkovsky. But even after the train departed, Michel was absent from his post at the end of the corridor several times the night of the murder. I must know where he really was and when.
¿El asesino sigue en el tren? Yo creo que sí.
Yes, he most certainly returned to the train.
How can you be sure?
It's obvious. I mean, I hope Mr. Poirot agrees.
Please continue, Detective Locke.
¿Cuál es la prueba de que el asesino sigue en el tren? Echó a correr en dirección a la estación de tren de Venecia. Su mejor opción para salir de Italia es el tren. En el tren no falta nadie. Echó a correr en dirección a la estación de tren de Venecia.
While I was chasing him, he was clearly running in the direction of Venice Station, where the Orient Express was waiting.
Very possibly, but it is not much in the way of proof, mademoiselle.
Su mejor opción para salir de Italia es el tren.
The train is French. The murder took place in Slovenia, and the victim's body is in Italy. Jurisdiction won't be sorted out before the train reaches Paris. The murderer is probably content to sit tight aboard the train until Paris, where he can disappear.
It is undoubtedly a possibility, but
Tampoco.
we have no proof.
En el tren no falta nadie.
All the passengers and crew are still aboard. If the killer of Mr. Wadi had remained in Venice, we would have noticed right away that someone was missing, and we could have alerted the authorities.
I promise you, I made certain everyone was aboard before we embarked.
Book, calm yourself.
Calm myself? But we're back where we started. There is still another murderer on my train. Wait a moment. Can I change my mind about my verdict? Can we turn everyone over to the police?
Everyone? Including ourselves?
What? No. 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 Oh, it's a nightmare.
Let us take it step by step, my friend. We can start by eliminating all of the members of the Ratchet jury.
¿Quiénes son las 12 personas que fueron a la vez jurado y verdugos de Rachel? Jurado y verdugo. Doce son.
I do not think that's the right answer.
Falta una persona.
No.
¿No?
Not good.
¿Esta quién era? ¿Vale? Bien.
I'm right again. That happens to me a lot. If we eliminate the 12 jurors, we are left with
7 sospechosos, es verdad.
additional suspects.
7? It's still too many.
I agree. We must reduce our list.
Excuse my impatience, Poirot. It's as if my beautiful train is cursed. Can you exonerate any of the 7?
Hay otros sospechosos. ¿Es Bruce sospechoso? No.
Well done.
Para mí no.
Worked hard to get me aboard the train. He is definitely not a suspect.
No.
Right. Mademoiselle Locke cannot be a suspect. She pursued Mr. Wadi's murderer.
¿Es el doctor Constantino sospechoso? Yo creo que no.
Nice. Dr. Constantine alerted me to the 13th stab wound. He is not a suspect. Et voilà.
Son
I
tres
have
ya.
4 suspects left who I must now examine more closely. Miss Nielsen, Monsieur Maury, Monsieur Fauché,
Y la
and
condesa.
Countess Andrény.
Vale.
One of my employees? Suspicious?
All 3 got off the train in Venice to restock supplies. Any one of them might have slipped away without being noticed.
I suppose. But what of Countess Andrény? You cleared her yourself.
She is cleared of the first murder, but we know little of her movements here in Venice. So, we still have 4 suspects to interview. Detective Locke?
I can't join you, Poirot. My chief saw something on the news about the case and my involvement. He's demanding an explanation. If I want to keep my badge, I have to call him.
Then you must do so by all means.
I'm sorry.
No need to apologize. I understand.
I'll make the call from my compartment. If you're looking for me, I'll be there.
I hate to say this, Poirot, but I must. There is, of course, one other suspect with a motive for murder. The ransom money.
You mean Detective Locke? Then who did she chase? Who killed Aziz? We both saw the masked murderer standing over the body.
Tiraron a la señorita Nielsen. Interesa al señor Faucher. Interroga no sé quién. Vale. Estoy en el 101. Vamos a ir. Aquí tampoco hay nadie.
Doctor, I need to question Countess Andrény.
I'm afraid that won't be possible, Mr. Poirot. The Countess had an anxiety attack when we arrived in Venice. She was terrified the police would come for her and her husband, despite how you concluded your investigation. I had to give her a sedative. She has been sleeping since.
Vale, entonces esta
You
es
were with her all the
inocente.
time we were in Venice?
Count Andrény begged me to watch over her. I have not left this room.
You're the reason she's in this state.
Book voted to absolve you all. I accepted his verdict.
I told her. I tried to reason with her. What she has already suffered, the strain of these last few days, it was too much.
I understand, Count. It's quite all right. I have the answers I came for.
Es inocente. Por ahí ella no es.
Ah, Michel, I have a few more questions to ask you, if you will allow me.
Anything, Monsieur Poirot. We are in your debt.
Please tell me your movements when we were stopped at Venice Station.
Once the compartments were cleaned and the linen refreshed, I stayed in my quarters.
Did you notice anything special? Comings and goings?
Monsieur Bouc had asked everyone to stay in their compartments. I would occasionally walk the train to ensure everyone was comfortable. Oh, I saw Monsieur Maury was all alone loading his crates of provisions. A great chef like that, reduced to petty labor, I would have helped him. But Monsieur Bouc had ordered me not to leave the train for any reason. So, Monsieur Maury was forced to labor alone.
Let us review the actual timeline of the night of Ratchet's murder, not the one manufactured to hide your crime.
I left the train in Minkowski for a smoke. Then I resumed my post. That was the truth. The train departed on schedule. But then, of course, an avalanche of snow blocked the tracks. At 12:45, Madame Hubbard and I met in her compartment to discuss how to adapt our plan.
Due to the snow and Poirot.
The little play we had staged for you had to be rewritten. I left her compartment at approximately 1:15.
Then the curtain went up. Calls in the night, the red kimono, all for my benefit.
And all for nothing, as it turned out.
Do not blame yourself, Michel. I am the theater critic no playwright wants to see in the audience.
Joder, es que es un máquina. El Poirot es un máquina. Me encanta el juego porque tengo la sensación de que voy en el tren, ¿eh? Es una pasada.
You play well. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Thank you. Many years of piano lessons thanks to my mother. I try to play in a few clubs in Paris when I get the chance, but as you can see, it hasn't made me rich. What can I do for you?
Conversation only. Tell me about your time in Venice.
I had Monsieur Book's permission to see my sister. She lives in Marghera, just outside of Venice. She had a baby a few weeks ago. This was my first chance to meet my new nephew.
Monsieur Book gave you permission?
Yes, you can ask him.
Most assuredly, I will. What time did you leave and when did you return?
I left around 9:10 p.m. I was back by 10:45 p.m. When I got back, Hotaru was in a lot of pain. I gave him a back massage.
That would have been enough time to kill Monsieur Wadi and return to the train. May I see your knives?
Of course, they are here.
If you don't mind.
Help yourself. They are under the bar counter.
Tell me again about your poker game the night of the murder.
It's a regular game to help relax after a long day. Let's see, we started around 11 p.m. We took a short break in Vinkovsky, Hotaru, Pierre, and I. The game finished up around 2 a.m. We'd all had quite a bit to drink. Ah, yes, I left for about 10 minutes to refrigerate champagne for the next day. That must have been around 1 a.m.
Vale. Cuchillos.
None of these come close to the wounds on either body.
Es que no los va a esconder ahí con todo el culo. ¿Aquí hay algo interesante? No.
You told Fauché he could go into Venice?
Marghera, actually. Not so far away. It was his only chance to see his sister. He's been working every trade for weeks. There is never time to see the new baby.
Enough, Book. Your heart does you credit, but your common sense, it...
I know. But it's fine. Isn't it? He did come back.
Oh, it's fine, as you say. Unless he saw the baby, then
Exactamente.
kill someone else and return to the train.
But that's monstrous.
Murder is always monstrous, my friend.
Que tiene toda la razón, pudo haber hecho eso, tío. Y se queda tan tranquilo, ¿sabes?
Good evening, Monsieur Maury. May I have a moment of your time? I have a few questions to ask you.
Of course, as long as you don't mind. If
Otra vez dando excusas,
I
tío.
promise to be as brief as possible. What did you do while we were stopped in Venice?
with Freya's help, I loaded fresh produce for the next part of our journey. Then, you may not believe this, but my job requires a lot of physical labor. My back suffers. Fortunately, Jean has become quite adept at separating my vertebrae.
As you may know, I have solved the murder of Monsieur Ratchet.
That is a shame.
I beg your pardon?
The bastard sent my steak tartar back, telling John I was to burn it.
I will add it to the list of his crimes. One wound on Monsieur Ratchet's body was struck by a very sharp, thin-bladed knife. We haven't found it yet.
You think one of mine was used?
I'd like to have a look if you don't mind.
In that drawer.
An impressive set of knives, but their blades are too wide to have been used for the crime. Tell me about your poker game the night of the murder.
We started around 11 p.m. when John finished his shift. We played until around 2 a.m. From what I remember, it's a bit vague.
You played without a break.
Actually, we did break once for a smoke. John, Pierre, and I. When we stopped in Vinkovsky.
When was that?
Around midnight?
Vas por aquí a ver quién hay.
The box is secured by some sort of locking mechanism. The design is formed by 3 commas. What is the word in Japanese? Tamoe. And it's obviously missing a piece.
Sí, porque es el yin yang, ¿no?
The design is formed by 3 commas. What is the word in Japanese? Tamoe. Good evening, Mademoiselle Nielsen. May I talk to you for a moment?
Of course, Mr. Poirot. I'm not going to bed right away.
Can you tell me your movements while we were stopped in Venice?
That'll be easy. I didn't move much at all. Let's see. I helped Hataru load all of the food crates aboard the train. Hataru had everything he needed, but I realized they forgot half of my order. I spent over an hour on the phone with the supplier without success. I had to change the dessert menu for tomorrow.
Dr. Constantine found a stab wound on Ratchet's body that was caused by a much thinner and sharper blade than the others.
Possibly a chef's knife?
My thought, precisely.
And you'd like to see my knives?
If you wouldn't mind.
Muy lista
I
esta
would
mujer,
gladly
¿no?
show you if I had any, but I don't. I use the regular kitchen knives. You may search if you don't believe me.
I see.
All the knives the staff use are in the kitchen or in the lounge, except
Except
Hotaro prefers to use his own.
Monsieur Mori doesn't use the kitchen knives?
Not usually. I know he keeps a set of traditional Japanese knives in a box in his room. He doesn't let anyone else use them. Although now that I think of it, he has been using the kitchen knives lately.
Entonces ya hay alguien sospechoso.
Can you tell me exactly about your poker game the night of the murder?
We started around 11 p.m. In Vinkovsky, we took a short break. Hataru and Pierre went outside to smoke. Oh, and Hataru got sick around a few minutes past 1 a.m. 1:10 a.m. maybe? He spent about 15 minutes in the bathroom, but he didn't want to quit on a losing streak.
Did his luck improve?
No, so we played to around 2 a.m. He lost every hand.
I've talked to everyone, but some elements of the testimonies do not seem to correspond. I need to recheck a few things.
Tenemos que comprobar los cuchillos de nuevo. Voy a ver los cuchillos, espérate. Me deja pasar, tío.
Saffron. It must be worth a small fortune.
En su habitación, vale, vamos a ver. Voy a ver la habitación porque selecciona 2 elementos que den a los empleados una coartada para la obra del asesinato. Monsieur Michael, Monsieur Mori y Monsieur Faucho bajaron del tren en Vinkovsky para fumar.
This is wrong, but I'm never far from the truth.
Vale, vale, no. Esto y después...
No, 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 no,
No.
not good.
Vale, esto que espérate, voy a mirar una cosa. Monsieur Pink no estuvo vigilando el pasillo desde las 2:30 hasta la 1:15.
I must admit I'm
Man.
not right this time.
A ver, espérate, vamos a ver. Vamos a mirar. Monsieur Fancho puso en frío de champán a la 1:30. Vale. Una cuartada para la hora del asesinato. Ah, vale, una cuartada. Para fumar, vale. Y luego...
I do not think
No.
that's the right answer.
A ver. Pensemos, chicos, pensemos. A ver, voy a ver si nos encontramos algo por el camino o algo. En la habitación de este tío, ¿cómo es? ¿Cuál es? Por aquí. Así hay algo nuevo. Está esto. Una caja. Una caja, que es la de que tenemos que encontrar para los cuchillos, ¿no? Que guarda los cuchillos aquí el chaval. Ah.
It's still locked. I need to move the parts.
Me
on
tenemos que
the
hacer este
side.
puzzlito. ¿Y eso qué es? Vale.
It's still locked. I need to move the parts on the side.
Vale, y este se la pongo para aquí. Ahora, vale. Este. Coño, espérate, a ver. Allá. Ahora. Vale, este la puedo abrir, ¿no?
It's still
No.
locked. I need to move the parts on the side.
A ver. Vale, si esta, entonces tengo que hacer esta para allá. A ver ahora. ¿Por qué no me deja este? Esta sí. Baja. No entiendo por qué esta así, esta no. Pero es que está guapo esto, pero... Ahora esto... A ver, si este se jala para acá... A ver, si esta... Ya sé. Voy a cortar, chicos, porque esto me va a entretener un poquito. Vale, chicos. He logrado hacer este dibujo. Creo que para aquí no es nada. Creo que hice mover solo para que se vea un dibujo. Vale, este. Y este ahora, este para acá. No se va, este tampoco. Vale. Vale, dale este para allá. Ahora. Tengo este. Me falta este del lado. No. Falta este. A ver si el mando me hace caso. Espérate, a ver. Creo que me falta este lado ahora, ¿no? Vale, ahora este. Ah, sí, ahora sí, ¿no? Me falta este lado. Vale, pues tengo que bajar este. Ujú. Porque choca aquí. Tengo que quitar este también. Vale. Este aquí. Está desocupado. Este es el más difícil, ¿eh? Buf, encima tengo que abrir ahora este. Vale, este para acá. Venga, baja, hombre. Esta sí. Esta sí y esta sí. Así. Ni uno ni otro, ¿en serio? A ver ahora. Vale, este se traba aquí. Este va aquí. Y a ver si se abre esto.
It's still locked. I need to move the parts on the
Me falta
side.
esta parte. Esta es la que me falta. ¿Dónde está el puto dibujo, tío? Esta es la que me falta, chicos. Está este dibujo. Y me falta esta parte que es la más difícil. Vale, tía, se me fue. Este tiene que ser para acá. Vale, baja, hombre. Es que este no tengo una idea cómo se pone. Vale, a ver. Vale, el árbol tiene que ser así, ¿no? Está completo así. A ver si ahora se abre.
It's still locked. I need to move the
Vale, no.
parts on the
Porque
side.
ves, está en verdad esto está bien. El árbol está completo desde arriba. Pero no sé por qué no me deja abrirlo. Bueno, vamos a poner que sean todos del mismo lado. A ver, a ver. Este. Hacerlo con el ratón, tío, mejor. ¿Puedo mover esto para acá? A ver si lo pone el mando. Joder. Vale, a ver. Esto lo voy a quitar. A su sitio. Vale. Vale, hay que dejarlo justo. Como lo dejes un poquito tal, no te deja pasar la mierda esta. Vale. Está pasado. ¿Por qué no te deja pasar esta? Vale. Ah, vale, porque está esta aquí, ¿no? Vale, a ver ahora. Ah, esta está descubierta. Vale, ahora sí. Vale, esta está descubierta ya. A ver esta. Uf, lo del mando es espectacular. Venga ya, tío. Déjame pasar de esto. Vale. Este la tengo. A ver ahora. Esta va para allá. Y esta. Así, mira, ya lo tengo. Y ahora. Bien, uff. El Jin Jam.
An object that looks like a broken comma. It must be part of something else.
No, vale, es aquí. Esto es lo que faltaba aquí. Los cuchillos.
Coltería,
Venecia. Pregunta si al morir por sus cuchillos. Vale. Vamos allá a preguntarle al chaval. Perdón. Tengo la boca seca.
I'm sorry, Monsieur Mori, but haven't you forgotten something?
Exactamente.
You haven't told me about the knives hidden in your room.
Ha! Yes, indeed. I forgot to tell you about those. They are my personal knives. I only use these knives. There are none better. I bought them all in Japan. No one is allowed to touch them except me.
¿Cuál de estas frases contiene una mentira? ¿Son mis cuchillos personales? Solo uso, no hay ninguno mejor. Los compré todos en Japón. Mentira. Esta creo que es mentira.
I'm afraid you are better at sushi than lying.
What? What do you mean?
Costelería Venecia.
One of the knives has an inscription, Coltelleria Venezia. Did you happen to go shopping tonight, monsieur?
Damn you, Poirot. Very well. One of my sushi knives has been missing since the night of the murder. I thought you were going to believe I killed Ratchet. He routinely sent back my dishes to be ruined. Why does God give rich people the money to afford the best cuisine, but not the palate to appreciate it? I panicked. I know a very good store in Venice. I went to buy a knife to replace the one that had gone missing. So, I wouldn't be accused. I assure you that I had nothing to do with any murders.
I would have an easier time believing you, monsieur, if you put that knife down.
Oh, yes, of course. Sorry.
What time did you leave on your little shopping trip?
I left around 9:30 p.m. I was back a little after 11. 11:15 p.m.
Time enough to stab Monsieur Wadi and return. Very well, Monsieur Mori. That's all for now. If I have another question...
I'll be right here, cooking.
Hay algo en el testimonio de McDonald's que no me cuadra. Hay de confrontarlo al respecto. Vale. ¿Esa es una? Bien, selecciona los elementos que te han empleado esto. Este me falta también. Vamos a confrontar a la mujer. A la pastelera. A ver si averiguamos algo más. Una pluma.
A black feather. That reminds me of something. Remind me of what you did when the train stopped in Venice.
No problem. I helped Hataru load all of the food crates aboard the train. Hataru had everything he needed, but I realized they forgot half of my order. I spent over an hour on the phone with the supplier, without success. I had to change the dessert menu for tomorrow.
Cargué todas las cajas de comida con Hataru. Di cuenta que se olvidaron de la mitad de mi pedido. Me pasé una hora al teléfono hablando con el proveedor en vano. Tuve que cambiar el menú de postre de mañana.
That does not prove she's lying.
Vale.
Oh, The truth cannot hide from Poirot forever. She may be telling the truth, but I cannot be certain. Mademoiselle, I believe you're hiding the truth.
Otaru fue a comprar, no estaba con Otaru.
Monsieur Mori was loading crates of food on the train.
Yes, I helped him. You can ask him yourself.
It's true. Monsieur Mori told me that Miss Nielsen did help him.
Bowser, Michael.
Michel saw Monsieur Mori carrying the crates of food alone. You weren't on the platform.
I did help Ataru.
The entire time? He carried so many crates, his back was sore.
Ah, I'm sorry about that. Okay, I'm guilty. I did leave him before we were finished. But I had to. There was no saffron he needed for a recipe. I volunteered to go into Venice and get him some. The Rialto market would be open late because of the carnival. He gave me money. I knew we weren't supposed to leave the train, but I only wanted to help. Mr. Mori can confirm this. Ask him. I saved dinner.
On behalf of my palate, I thank you. How long were you gone?
I left at 9:10 p.m. and was back with the saffron around 11. That's when I called my supplier for the items I was missing.
Miss Nielsen had almost 2 hours to buy the saffron, find a costume, kill Monsieur Wadi, elude Detective Locke, and make it back to the train for that phone call. Yes, it's possible that was enough time. Thank you, Mademoiselle Nielsen. That is all for now.
Sorry again, Mr. Poirot. I hope you enjoy tonight's dessert.
Vale, ya lo hice también. No, estamos en Venecia. ¿Quién no tiene coartada para el siguiente de señor Wadi? Este y este.
I do not think
No,
that's the right
coartada como coartada. Este.
I must admit I'm
Pues estos
not
dos, vale,
right
estos
this
dos.
time. No, not good.
¿Quién no tiene coartada para el asesinato del señor Wadi? ¿Estos dos?
This is
No, no.
but I'm never far from the truth.
Esta y...
Think, Poirot. That is not a good
No,
answer.
joder, ¿y quiénes son? ¿Estos dos?
I do not
Tampoco.
think that's the
¿Las dos
right
chicas?
answer. Think, Poirot.
Anda
That is
ya.
not a good answer.
¿Pues una sola o qué? ¿Quién no tiene coartada?
This is wrong. But I'm never far from the truth. I must admit I'm
Madre
not
mía,
right this
chicos.
time. No.
No, pues no puede ser, ¿eh?
Think, Poirot.
No.
That is not a good answer.
Pues no sé, yo las he dado todos, tío.
This time.
Los he hecho todos. Aquí están las coartadas. A ver. Por lo que puede ser en vez de... Esta estaba mala. Esta no podría ser, chicos. Entonces, allí decían que estos tres... Yo creo que son estos tres. Porque es lo que me queda ya. Va, joder, tío.
That was easy.
Malmes ni Monsieur Mori y Monsieur Fraser tuvieron tiempo suficiente de Venecia para asesinar a Monsieur Wadi y volver al tren. Es que tuvieron Tiempos largos, ¿eh? Y luego, ¿qué más me falta por aquí? Vale, este es el último asesino. Interrogatorio Nielsen. En Venecia, Mademoiselle ayuda a Monsieur Mori a cargar productos frescos en el tren. Después dice que se pasó más de una hora al teléfono con un proveedor. La noche del asesinato de Rachel debió de quedarse sola mientras Monsieur Faucher y Monsieur Mori fumaban. Vale. Estos dos fumaban. Vale, porque ella no fumaba. Entonces, primero vamos a poner en la parte de la secuencia esa que hay un montón de viñetas. Pondremos primero fueron a fumar. La señorita Nielsen se quedó porque no fumaba, ¿no? Dice, la noche de debe quedarse sola mientras Monsieur fumaba. O sea, o ponemos que la chica no fumaba y entonces estos tres fueron a fumar. Según ella, Otaru se sentía enfermo. Vale, la tercera es que estaba malo. Luego de la 1:10 se pasó unos 15 minutos en el baño. Vale. Vomitando la comida que él mismo había preparado. Además, Mademoiselle Nielsen usa los cuchillos de la cocina, a diferencia de Monsieur Mori, que tiene unos cuchillos. Vamos a ver si ahora, con esta pista, habla con Book. Durante la parada de Venecia, Book le dio permiso a Monsieur Frayou para bajar del tren a ir a ver a sus humanos. Bueno, sí, se lo vi yo. Vamos a ver. Entonces, primero vamos a decir que esta mujer no fumaba, ¿no? Y luego... Vale, ahora sí. Mademoiselle Nielsen no bajó del tren en Viconsi, así que estaba sola en las dependencias de los empleados. Vale. Luego. Este se puso malo, ¿no? O esta. Después este se puso malo.
This is wrong.
Vale,
But
pues vamos a
never
poner...
far from the truth.
Este se puso malo. A la 1:10. Bien. Monsieur Mori subió al tren a la 1:10 cuando Pierre Michael no estaba vigilando el pasillo. Subió al tren a la 1:10 cuando Pierre Michael no estaba vigilando el pasillo. Entonces quedan estos dos. Monsieur Frochet subió al tren a la 1:05 cuando Pierre Michael no estaba vigilando el pasillo. Los tres, ¿eh? Sacar conclusiones. O sea, selecciona dos elementos que den a los empleados una cortada para la hora del asesinato. Pero sacar conclusiones.
Any of the three staff members had the opportunity to kill Ratchet when Monsieur Michel wasn't watching the hallway. Et voilà.
Según uno de esos tres, ¿eh? Monsieur Nies y Monsieur Mori podrían haber asesinado a Rachel mientras Monsieur Michael no estaba vigilando el pasillo. Los miembros del jurado de Rachel, Monsieur Olson, el capitán Arbonneau, Monsieur Andreji, Así le hemos dicho todo. Vamos a hablar con Book, me supongo. Pero si no tengo que hablar más, ¿no? Vale, entonces tampoco. Así que vamos a ver dónde tenemos que ir. Vamos, a hablar con la policía.
What have you been doing, Poirot? I am completely in the dark.
I will shine some light on the situation, my friend. I have 3 new suspects who could have killed Ratchet and Monsieur Wadi. Miss Nielsen, Monsieur Fauchet, and Monsieur Maury. They all had periods of time during both murders to commit the deed, and their alibis are weak. A visit to family, and not one, but 2 shopping trips.
But all are my employees.
Alas, yes, my dear book. But we have no proof against any of them. None of the 3 appears to have any motive whatsoever.
But this is a tragedy.
Do not give up hope. We will catch this murderer. There is still one place that may hold the evidence we need.
Geneva.
Exact.
Geneva.
Not give up hope? Well, that's easy for you to say. But what if it's Freya? What becomes of dessert? If it's Sotarou, who will cook? Me? And the worst, if it's Jean, who will serve the drinks?
I've been checking up on the Banque du Lac. I had to confirm my identity for Interpol, so they contacted my captain at the Berkshire Police.
I suspect he was not pleased.
That my vacation was actually an unofficial investigation? I'll say.
I would be happy to speak to him on your behalf.
Thank you, but he'll get over it. It's a chance to close the books on the Armstrong kidnapping. He stopped yelling, asked for a report, then granted me an extra week.
Excellent. What did you learn from Interpol about the Banque du Lac?
It's had a bad reputation for over a century. Customers have included the mafia, Nazis, corporate swindlers of every description, even heads of state.
It is true, this. It is the worst-kept secret in banking. They take advantage of the bank's strict policy of protecting the anonymity of its clients. This is in defiance of many laws from multiple countries, including Switzerland itself. Of course, I have never taken advantage of such a corrupt system.
That goes without saying, my friend.
There are ongoing investigations, subpoenas, court orders. The bank will eventually have to comply, or its assets may be seized. But until then, it still thrives, thanks to its wealthy and powerful clients.
It sounds perfect for the late Monsieur Ratchet. Do you have any ideas?
The serial numbers from some of the bills match those from the Armstrong kidnapping. We agreed in Venice that the bulk of the money must still be physically in the bank's vault.
I concur, Detective Locke. Exemplary work. So, our next task is clear. We need to get into Ratchet's safety deposit box.
There'll be codes, passwords.
And Monsieur Wadi would, of course, have known them all. The bag of money he carried is proof of that.
We'll need to find information about Ratchet's box in Wadi's office at the bank.
Most assuredly, but remember the secrecy involved. I doubt his office will contain all we need. Where else must we dig?
¿Dónde puedo encontrar la información de la caja fuerte de Rachel? Internet, diario de Rachel, pregúntale al señor McQueen, el departamento del señor Wadi. ¿El apartamento? Sí.
That was easy.
Mr. Wadi couldn't keep all of his secrets at the bank. Hopefully we'll find something in his apartment. We already have his address thanks to his passport, and his keys we retrieved from his body.
The train stops in Lausanne at 8 a.m. But that's far from Geneva. I can delay the departure until 11 a.m. No later. The police are expecting us in Paris by the end of the afternoon at the latest. They won't tolerate any delay.
The bank doesn't open until 9. I can see only one way that gives us a chance to be on time.
Vamos a Ginebra. ¿Taxi o barco? Taxi.
Let's take a taxi. I checked a map. It should take us less than an hour to get to Geneva from Lausanne, which leaves us just enough time to access that safety deposit box. We have no choice if we want to be back to the train by 11 a.m.
¿Cómo registrarnos? ¿Cómo registramos el apartamento y el despacho de manera eficiente? Por separado, juntos. Eficiente. Juntos, ¿no?
We could search the apartment and the office together, but we won't have enough time. Better to separate.
Ah, mejor nos separamos, vale. ¿Cómo podemos acceder a la caja fuerte? Suplantando a Rachel, orden de registro. Orden de registro. No. O suplantando a Rachel. ¿Un orden de registro?
My captain suggested an international warrant to search the box, but the warrant would take days, and the bank would probably just...
Vale, pues
We are
suplantar.
going to use the bank's anonymity policy to our advantage.
And the quickest way is for you to impersonate Ratchet.
I would rather impersonate Jack the Ripper.
Ya es destripar, uff.
Justice, I will do it.
We need to find the account number.
Along with everything else.
I will say I want access to the vault. They don't ask for papers or even names. The vault information is enough.
I'm not hearing any of this. I run a train company. I don't rob banks.
Perfect. Let's recap the plan.
Ordena correctamente los pasos del plan. Vale. Podemos ir a Ginebra en taxi, ¿no? Encontré información sobre Rachel. Reunión en el banco. Registrar el despacho apartamento del señor Wadi. Suplantar a Rachel. Buscar la caja fuerte de Rachel. Y separarse. Entonces. Reunirse en el banco. No, vale, esto no es. A ver, esto. No. Está en el apartamento del señor Guay. Separarse. Buscar información sobre Rachel. Buscar esto. Suplantar. Y reunirse en el banco, ¿no? Vamos a ver si es así. O falta algo. Vale, hay algo que falta. Esto lo podemos poner por esta.
I must admit I'm not
Vale.
right this time. This is wrong.
Vale.
But I'm never far from the truth.
Era negro en taxi. Registrar el departamento del señor Wally. Separarse. Pedir información. Suplantar a Rachel. Reunirse en el banco y buscar la caja fuerte. A ver.
No.
Falta algo. Si es al revés.
I do not
No.
think that's the right answer.
Hay algo que me falla.
I must admit I'm not right this time.
Bueno, vamos a ver lo que vamos a fallar. A ver. Primero taxi. Luego. A ver, ir a Ginebra en taxi. Nos separamos. Vale, porque tenemos que ir buscando, ¿no? Vale. Aquí. Luego, registrar el despacho apartamento del señor Wadi. Encontramos información sobre Rachel. Luego vamos al banco. Suplantamos a Rachel y vamos a la caja a ver si ahora sí. Sí. Vale. Bien.
Voilà.
To sum up, we're going by taxi to Geneva. Then we'll split up. You're going to search Mr. Wadi's apartment. I'll search the office at the bank. When we have all the information we need, you pretend to be Ratchet, and we can finally find out what Ratchet is keeping hidden in his safety deposit box.
It sounds impossible.
Not for Detective Joanna Locke and Hercule Poirot.
We should get some rest.
You are right, detective. We face our greatest challenge tomorrow. Together.
Nine o'clock. Our driver did well. It took barely an hour to get here from Lausanne.
But we must conclude our business in 1 hour as well. Book can only hold the train until 11 o'clock.
1 hour to find the key of Ratchet's safety deposit box, the box number, and its passcode. A lot to ask.
Indeed, which is why we must split our forces. I will take the cab to Monsieur Wadi's address. You must search his office.
I have you on speed dial. And thank you, Mr. Poirot.
For what, mademoiselle?
For trusting me.
Bueno chicos, pues hasta aquí este vídeo para que no se haga tan largo. Y ya poco en poco, todos los vídeos últimos he dicho lo mismo. Pero como parece que se alarga y se alarga, pues ya no sé si decís el último, el penúltimo, antipenúltimo, no lo sé. Yo sé que vamos averiguando más sobre la información de estos asesinatos. Está súper interesante y espero que a ustedes les haya gustado muchísimo. Cualquier comentario siempre es bien recibido en este canal, ya lo saben. Gracias por el apoyo y nos vemos en el próximo capítulo con este gran Hércules Poirot. Chao.